All right, what's up, everybody? Hello, Zeus. Hello, Raymond. What's up, Tyler? Oh, my day was pretty good. Nice to meet you, man. Welcome in, Kill All. What's up, BMC? Oh, I'm doing pretty good, Zeus. Just sitting here chilling. You know, getting ready to do the show tonight. We're going to be talking about balance and what is balance. You know, why is it important? You know, guys, because I'm probably going to blow a couple minds here. Happy birthday, BMC. I know it's late again. See you later, Zeus. Nice. All right, guys. So, tonight we're going to be talking about balance. All right. But we're going to give it just a little bit more time. We got a few people in here. So, actually, you know, I might go on ahead and start. All right, guys. So, what is balance? All right. First off, balance is neither light nor dark, life nor death, good nor evil. Balance exists in a gray area of very defined matters and definitive proofs and truths. You know, one tilt one direction and chaos reigns, a tilt in the other direction and peace is achieved. You know, it's a very delicate, very easily tilted thing. You know, it's not something simple to describe. You know, balance is a force that lives outside of life and death. It is a mixture of both Mother Nature and Father Sky working together to create this perfect harmony that we live in that is called balance. You know, it is both life, death, day, and night. You know, balance is everything. And by learning how to maintain a balance, you learn how to honestly basically almost become enlightened if you can achieve a balance. You know, it's really hard to do that, actually. What's up, sweet country? But it's really hard to obtain this a lot of times for a lot of people because balance is something that isn't easily obtained. Most people, you know, they tilt to one direction or the other. They're either chaotic or they're pure. You know, so they usually go one direction or the other. They're either chaotic or they're peaceful, you know, and that is just a truth. You know, we don't have anybody who truly walks a balance unless they be a soldier, you know, knowing when it's time to do their job and when it's time not to. My shucks want a little attention. What's up there, Spanton? What you doing, Shucker Puppers? What do you want? But anyway, of course you're going to interrupt me. What do you want to interrupt me for? What's going on? You need to go outside? You need to go potty? Oh, geez, Shuck, you just spilled your water dish all over the place. Good thing I have a towel here. Give me a second, guys. I got to clean up a mess. It's what happens when a big old boy gets excited in a little tiny bedroom. Luckily, I had a towel sitting in here that I used last night. So, yeah, that worked. All right, Shuck, hold on, wait. So, back to where I was, guys. Sorry about that. Welcome back into the chat, everybody. We got 5 likes up there. It's all going. All right. Scald. Okay. So back to what I was talking about with balance. So guys, when we obtain a balance, we learn how to be calm. We learn how to be, collected. We're not so frantic. We're not so rushing around to get everything done because we've obtained a balance between being able to do our jobs and have a home life and be able to raise a family. This is all part of balance. Balance is a cosmic force, guys. It's literally something that drives every single one of us, just like fate. Balance is very much like fate. You have to be able to take and weigh the good with the bad a lot of times, and sometimes you'll have a lot of bad, which will eventually get you a lot of good, but then sometimes you'll have a lot of good and never really have to deal with any bad. Guys, these little scales, they're tipped by our decisions. This is how balance works. We make a decision and an action occurs. When that action occurs, it tips those scales. And every time it tips those scales, it might tip them towards chaos. It might tip them towards peace. You never know. You got to be able to make those decisions for yourself. You got to be able to figure those things out, whether or not this is a good thing or a bad thing. And guys, sometimes it can be hard. Sometimes it can be very, very difficult to see the truth, and yeah, don't be heartbroken there, country girl. What's up, subject? How you doing, brother? But guys, there is a wonder to balance. There is a truth to balance, and we should all have a desire to want to obtain a true balance. And the reason being, guys, is because when you do this, your life seems to fall into place. Everything will seem to work out just fine. And if it doesn't, you will understand why it doesn't, guys, because you understand balance. You understand the power of just that simple word. How it affects everything. Nature is balanced. Mankind is balanced. Economies are balanced. Everything has to come into a proper balance in order for it to work right. So that is where the concept of yin and yang came from. The good with the bad. That is where the concept of the Ouroboros came from. Immortality, which was balance. And these are all things that a lot of mankind has forgotten. A lot of mankind doesn't step back and look at the potential that balance can bring unity. Balance can bring understanding. Because with balance comes knowledge. And you guys know what I say about knowledge. With knowledge comes wisdom. With wisdom comes understanding. With understanding comes compassion. And with compassion comes kindness. And the cycle continues, and these are wonderful, wonderful things that many, many men have forgotten now. Many women have forgotten, as a human race, we have forgotten that there is a need for this. The best example of this was Gandhi. Mohammed Gandhi. He sat there and decided that he just wasn't going to know. He was no longer going to buy English products. He was only going to use and eat things grown in India. And his followers did the same. They suffered along the way, but in the process, they gained great wisdom. They gained great understanding. And sure enough, he peacefully found a way through balance to get the English out. Why? He tipped the scales in the favor of the Indian culture. He tipped the scales. By doing that, he made sure that the British had nothing left, because now the scales were tipped to their direction in chaos. They couldn't control the people, so they had to leave. Gandhi had achieved his goal. So that is a way of using balance to your advantage. He tipped the scales his direction by doing something radical that nobody had ever thought of, by going out and preaching about, things such as unity, brotherhood, understanding of your fellow man, compassion, caring. These are all things he taught. And unfortunately, in the end, he ended up being killed by one of his own followers, who I believe was probably paid off a substantial amount of money. And they're probably living somewhere still with their relatives. But, it's because people who are free thinkers like Gandhi, or people who understand the concept of balance, they're dangerous. And the reason why they're dangerous is because they affect the status quo. They can create change with but a simple movement. They can create understanding. They can bring about peace. And guys, that's dangerous to the status quo. That's dangerous to those in power, because it means that they can lose their great power. It means that through a simple action or through a simple deed, something as simple as refusing to pay taxes or refusing to get up and go to work one day, the whole United States would freeze. And what's the government going to do? Freaking panic. Why? Because the scales have no longer tipped their direction. They have now tipped to the way of the people. And guys, these are how our people used to understand. This is how our American ancestors used to do things. They would tip those scales. They would tip the balance their direction. They would make it work. The Boston Tea Party, the American Revolution, the Civil War. They would tip the scales to their favor. And that way they could be able to take and earn what they wanted and get what they wanted. Why? Because balance was working for them towards peace. Now we have lost that peace. The balance is tipping more towards chaos. It is tipping more towards dictatorship. It is tipping more towards a world police governmental system that just isn't correct. Let's tip it back the other way, guys. Let's find a way to cast our balance properly. Let's find a way to take and step back and look at these incredible issues that are going on in our world and be able to say, I can balance this out. I can figure this out. I can do this right. And we all step back as a unified people, as the American people, and we demand the changes we want. If majority of us do it, what are they going to do? They have to change. That is exactly what our government was set up for. That is exactly what our rights were set up for. If we don't like something, we simply quit dealing with it. We simply don't mess with it. And that, my friends, is freedom. That, my friends, is balance. Because you're in that moral gray area where you can literally decide what is right and what is wrong. This is balance. And everybody's balance is different. And when you let what you believe to be wrong tilt too far to one direction in your life, life can be chaos. And it can be very hard to bounce back from that. But if you make the right decisions and you let it tilt the other way, then you can put those scales in your favor. And your life can be peaceful. And you can find your happiness. You can find your ease. Just take some work. You got to tip those scales. It's not easy. It's like mining. You got to literally search for the right things, for the right choices. Do the right thing. And you can build those scales in your favor. And then when they tilt the right way and they finish until they fall all the way to the ground, your reward will be given. And it will be great. Because it's always the journey that matters. The lessons we learn along the way. This builds our balance. This creates who we are. And these lessons along every journey we ever take in our life, be it a career path, be it an educational path, be it a new entrepreneurship, whatever it is, if we take this time and we struggle, we will be rewarded in the end. What you put out, you get back. That is part of balance as well. The effort put forth is the effort gained. It's a very, very simple concept. And nature itself is simple. We as humans tend to overcomplicate things, but nature itself is very, very simple. And this simplicity is this, live, feed, breed, die. That is nature's simple rule. That is her very simple few rules. And that's all you need to know. But it's a sad day whenever people forget the ability to be able to stand up for what they believe in. Whenever people forget that they can actually make a difference. That our government is set up specifically so we can make a difference when we don't like something. And guys, the only ones that are standing up for those rights are the ones nobody wants to listen to. They're the ones that are standing up for the right to be absolutely freaking cuckoo for psychopuffs. They're nuttier than a squirrel turd and 3 times as chewy. But they're the ones speaking out, guys. They're the ones that are being heard. Maybe it's time we speak out. I'm calling out all my fellow American brothers and sisters. Speak out. Tell the world how you feel. Let them know. Find like-minded people. Work together. Try to make a difference. That is what America was great. That is what America was founded and made awesome. Not what we're thinking of today. Yes, we need economic reform. Yes, we need change there. I agree with that. That is true. But guys, we need focus more on our own country. We need to focus more on what's going on in this country and stop worrying about what's going on overseas. Stop worrying about what's going on in other countries. It's time to start worrying about us. Why? So we can tip those scales towards a peaceful America. So we can tip those scales towards a refined America. One where men can truly live free, where women don't feel the need to wear piles of makeup and sleep with 100 men, just to feel justified. Where people can walk down the streets, no matter who they are, no matter what gender, no matter what race, no matter what ideology. They can go down the road and not fear their fellow man. We can strive towards an America like that. We can push ourselves in a direction that brings us to a far, far greater existence. But we refuse to. Why do we refuse to do this? Because we're too stubborn, we're too arrogant, or we're too lazy. Mostly, we're too lazy. Because otherwise, guys, we would have seen an end to a lot of these problems a long time ago. Give me just a moment. I have to go take my meds. Goofy me, I move my meds and forget where I put them. Of course I would. Of course I would. Moved my medication and completely forgot where I put it. It's tipping towards sadness. Yes, it is. Scald for meds. Taken on time. And the right ones this time, instead of taking my nighttime meds. Well, in the daytime. Because I do apologize for that, guys. But man, that knocked me out all day long. So by the time I woke up, it was way too late to jump on here for you guys. You do that too? So big question. What is your ideal world? My ideal world is a place where all races and all peoples live in harmony. They share resources. They don't fight over them. They share them. Where cultures are seen for what they are, glorious and understandably so. You know, especially with some of them being so rich and being so filled with all kinds of incredible things. You know, like the Indian culture. You know, look at the songs, the dances, the artwork that comes out of India. They do some amazing craftsmanship. You know, some absolutely incredible craftsmanship. You know, stuff that's still talked about to this day that's been done the same way for thousands of years. You know, everybody would be seen for the amazing wonder that they add to the world, not what they take away, not who they are, not their skin color, not their skin tone, but literally what they give to the world, the beauty they add to it, the diversity they add to it. One of my favorite lines comes from Morgan Freeman, and it's from Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. A young girl walks up to him, says, "Did God paint you?" He laughs because he's playing an Islamic man, and he says, "For sure, little one." She says, "Why?" And he says, "Because Allah loves wondrous variety." And I believe that. He's called the All-Father for a reason. He loves wondrous variety. Otherwise, he wouldn't have created us all so different. You know? And that is one of the biggest things that I believe would be a perfect world. Somewhere where we share resources instead of fight over them. And somewhere where every culture is seen as rich and important and a part of humankind. Not just their culture, a part of humankind. What makes humans so special? Because there's so many different kinds of us, and there's so many different types of those kinds. You know, guys, that's what makes us so incredible. We have so much diversity amongst our race. And I'm talking about all of us, not just whites. I'm talking about whites, blacks, Hispanics, everybody. We have such great diversity amongst our races. Why are we fighting over who's superior? Why are we fighting over who's better? Why not sit back and go, you add this kind of beauty and wonder to the world. This is what makes you amazing. This is your light. This is the light of your people. And I see it for what it is. That's my ideal world. There's subject 14. Thank you, Tyler. You know, I've thought about it a lot. And my World X tier that I created for my tabletop game and my novel is like that. Thank you, subject. You know, I've thought about this a lot growing up. How could you make the world better? How could you do better than what we are doing now? And that was my main answer, was simply do a re-education. Start teaching everybody how important all the other races are, not how bad they are. Start teaching everyone how important other cultures are, not how different they are, but how important they are. You know, what they have to provide to the world, even if it's very little. Something as little as true tribal tradition that has been passed down for thousands of years. Guys, that is still a precious resource. That's mythology. That's history. Some of these oral tribes that still pass down their history through spoken word. Excuse me, guys, we got a scald. Scald. But some of these tribes that pass down oral traditions that speak on, history that has happened, guys, they know things that we've forgotten, that we've long since forgotten. My ideal world is one where food is free, everyone has rights, all cultures are respected, every person is seen as how they act. Exactly. And where wisdom is respected. That's awesome. You should check out an anime called Eden of East. I've heard of Eden of East. I just haven't watched it. But thank you for the suggestion, Tyler. I've actually been playing a game with one of the little AI simulators where I've been fighting with the X-Men, and I created my own X-Men character. His name's Tiger Prime. He's actually pretty cool. But enough about that. That's just nerdy stuff. Oh, I'm sorry you're so brokenhearted, sweet country. You're playing a horror game right now? All right, subject. That's awesome. Which game is it? Is it indie horror or is it, mainstream horror or what's going on here? So welcome in, everybody. Please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon. Come join the family. Come join the conversation. If you got any questions for me, feel free to ask. Oh, it's got a great story. That's nice. Hey, my Jin. I thought you'd fallen asleep. I messaged you, but I don't know if it's sent through. What's up, Trash? Hello, my baby Jin. Everybody go check out my Jin at JinHolder976. Go check her out there at JinHolder976. And if you wish to get a hold of me, guys, here's my email address right here if you wish to contact me with any kind of questions. Oh, you woke up? Okay, my Jin, I got you. Vintage story. Oh, that sounds interesting, their subject. So yeah, guys, welcome on in. We have now reached the hangout session of the show, which we only need 3 more likes before our next scald. So why don't you guys go on ahead and give us a hand with that? Just 3 more likes is all we need. And come on in and join the chat, everybody. We got a great little group here. Everybody's very accepting, and if you got any questions, feel free to ask. Right now, we're just kind of sitting, chilling. My Shuck's outside going to the restroom. He's a good dog. He really, really is. As soon as I walk through that door, he'll have been quiet all day long. But as soon as I walk through that door, he starts whining because he wants daddy's attention. Beautiful, beautiful black lab pit bull mix. He's a wonderful dog. Love him to death. I've made an epic fort in Vintage Story that I'm using to fight the horrors of the Rust world. Interesting. Sounds like a decent game there, Subject 14. The game that I was playing, I ended up creating a character that he actually was the one who inspired me to talk about balance. And it was because, granted, I didn't sound as flowery talking to you guys, but whenever I was playing that game, boy, I nail it. I nailed it. The character is just filled with wisdom because the way that I designed the character, he's actually ancient, and I really enjoy, playing my games every now and then, especially if I can control the story. Dave is chill. Nice. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear, my baby. I hope everything starts to get better for you. Guys, that is one of the things about balance that I'll talk about real quick. One more go. When a family member goes, it tips the balance of the scales of the family. And guys, let's just hope that Jin's stays well balanced and her family doesn't scatter like mine did when my grandparents passed on. So my grandparents passed on, boy, like a light turned on with cockroaches. They were just gone. You know, you didn't see any of them ever again. Well, anyway, so how's everyone doing? How's everyone's night? You know, hopefully it's doing really well. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. And please go on ahead and go check out my Jen at @JenHolder976. She's a wonderful young lady. She does Christian content, country music, coloring videos, NASCAR videos, and just all around good country, wholesome content. Oh, thank you, Jen. Thank you so much, baby. You know, she does happen to be my girlfriend, everybody. So welcome her in. And, you know, guys, if y'all want to join the chat, jump on in and say hi. You know, I'm not going to bite. You know, as long as you're not a troll, I'm all good, man. You know, that's what this part of the show is actually about. It's about a hangout, you know. But we only got 2 more likes left before we hit 15 likes, everybody. So let's see if we can get those last 2 likes up there. You know, just give us a hand. Even if you're not staying, just give us a quick like. You know you want it. I'm sad I have to end a 4-year-long friendship. Oh, that sucks, Tyler. It's never good when you have to end something like that. It's always really painful for someone, you know, usually for both of them, though. Because usually somebody doesn't realize what they did, and the other person's trying to explain it, and the other one don't want to hear it, and it's a big mess. Oh, yeah. You definitely have friends here, Tyler, so don't worry about that. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to go check on my shuck, and I'll be right back. Well, guys, he ain't quite ready to come in just yet. So we'll leave him be. He's such a good dog. Thank you all so much. Thank you, Tyler. What's up, Leno? Welcome into the show, man. It's been a minute. Welcome in. So, yeah, guys, you know, I love the fact that everybody's still here. Thank you all so much. Thank you for the 14 likes. You know, just one more and we get another skull. In fact, I'm going to go on ahead and get a bottle of water ready for us. Here we go. Oh, there it is. Thank you so much. Scald. All right. Hi, Zoe and Kat. How you doing? Welcome in, everybody. Oh, wow. We done jumped up to 18. Welcome into the chat, everyone. Thank you so much for showing up. Oh, yeah. Leno is awesome. You know, great kid. He ended up surviving cancer, guys. Good to see everybody's doing good. Welcome into the chat, everybody. Come on in, say hi, join the conversation, everyone. Don't be shy. All right. Yeah. Leno's like, yo, hi. All right, guys. So what did everybody have for dinner? Yeah, the world definitely needs some more good people in it. I believe it was hard, man. I definitely believe it. Glad to know you survived it. Woo. Them Brussels sprouts are coming back to haunt me. Yes, cancer has taken on quite a few legends. Chicken and rice, Zoe? Nice, nice. Steak and fries for Tyler. All right. That's some good dinners coming in here. I had Salisbury steak, homemade. Yeah. Nice, good old homemade Salisbury steak, with farm raised beef instead of, this store bought crap. We go and get farm raised beef, because it's a lot healthier for you. It's a lot better for you. And I would suggest everybody do it because then you at least know what goes into your animal before you eat it. Because you can always ask them. You had sausages? Yeah, sausages. Mashed potatoes and mac and cheese. All right. Sausage leg food. I know, man. I was just picking on you. It's just because one of my favorite treats that I love to give Shuck is sausages. He loves them things. He will go bat poop over them. It is so funny watching him try to turn circles and run on this hardwood floor because he just slips and chitter chatters all over the floor. He's sliding everywhere. It's kind of adorable. Thank you there, subject. Oh, man. So, I can say this. We might be treated to a Viking festival. I don't know yet. We're working on it. And after I save up this next little bit of cash, I'm going to hand it over to my mother, who has decided to help me get my chainmail for my birthday. So I might be getting my chainmail sooner than I thought. Do you remember those times in the 10? Which times in the 10? In the 20s? Yo, sick. Nice. Yeah, so we'll be getting our chainmail here real soon. And yes, guys, my parents help me. I'm a schizophrenic epileptic, in case you're new here. So my parents do give me a hand in my day-to-day life because as a schizophrenic epileptic, I cannot be alone. I must be monitored at all times, unfortunately. But it is how life works. It's not exactly like it's something I can. Oh, you're all good, man. Oh, yeah, I definitely mean the two. I remember the 2000s. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, my Jin definitely understands. So welcome in, everybody. Like I said, just jump on into the chat. I'll definitely give you a shout out. And if you have any questions, I'll answer them. Honestly. That's one thing you can always remember from me. I give honesty. Even if it makes me look kind of I'll give out some honesty. Because I've been in some situations. Turtle. But those situations was usually wrong place, wrong time because I made the wrong decision to hang out with the wrong guy. All right, my Jin. But yeah, everybody, I'd like to welcome y'all on into the show. AI in here. Who's an AI? What's up? Rise VR. Oh, you think you're insecure, man? There's no reason to be insecure, dude. You survived cancer. Well, no, that is something to be proud of, buddy. I'd be running around telling everybody that. To be honest, cancer is a horrible, horrible thing to try to fight. All right, what time we got here? 9:52. All right, so probably in the next 10 minutes or so, I'm probably going to end the show. And the only reason being is because, yeah, we're not going an hour tonight. I'm not going to let my medicines kick in and me going, all right, hi, guys. I'm not going to have that happen. Or drool on screen. Yes, you did, man. There's no reason to ever be insecure. I believe you there, Leno. I believe you there. But hey, you beat it, man. You beat it. Not many can say that. You came back, bro. That's what matters. You bounced back and you told that cancer, no, I'm going to survive because my name is Leno. And you can deal with it there, cancer. And you straight up pimp slapped it right out your body. So, man, there you go. That's something to be very proud of. Right, guys, we only need 2 more likes. 2 more likes and we're out of here. 20 likes or when we hit 10 o'clock. One of the two. Because 10 o'clock is usually getting close to my bedtime. Oh, yeah, that's true there, subject. All right, guys. Also, we're going to be checking the walking stabs tomorrow. It's time to be sanding them and giving them another coat. So, hopefully they held up pretty well throughout the night. What's my favorite lunch? I kind of like a cheeseburger. But really, I don't eat lunch that much. Mostly I just wait until the end of the day and I eat dinner. And that's about all I eat. I eat about once a day. Oh, I got you there, Tyler. Gonna go cook some lunch once this is over. I got you. What's up, Kristen? How you doing there, girl? I didn't see you earlier. Sorry about that. I just now noticed you. My bad. Welcome into the show, guys. Please don't forget 2 more likes and we get our final scald for the night. You got a strict time, though? Oh, you're all good, Kristen. Don't worry about it, girl. So, yeah, guys, welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon. Come join the family. And let's check the time. We have 5 minutes left. All right, guys, we got 5 minutes left. Did I make that costume? B, I had to buy this because I couldn't afford the leather to make the breastplate. But I did make the shoulder guards and the arm guard and the Mjolnir. But majority of it I'm making. But yeah, I just had to buy my breastplate. Unfortunately. What's up, Rimshot? How you doing, man? Welcome in, welcome in. Hey, Clint, I gotta go feed your capybara. You have a capybara? That would be awesome to have a capybara. Thank you very much, B Husky. I worked hard to be able to fit into this armor. I'm going to be actually adding to it. I'm going to have chainmail coming soon. We're going to have the thigh guards, the shin guards, and we're going to have some better arm guards coming in soon. I'm going to end up buying this particular armor and piecing it together so that it looks more historically accurate versus what I make, which tends to be a little bit more fantasy. Nice. All right. Let's check our time. All right, guys. I think I'm going to go on ahead and head on out. I'm already getting tired from my nighttime meds. So I'm going to probably go on ahead and leave. I want to thank you guys all so much for being here. Y'all are absolutely incredible. 100% greatest thing that's ever happened to me so far. So thank you all for being here. You know, y'all have been an amazing crowd. And we'll catch you all next time. Remember, see you from a swamp, later from a gator. Love your mama, love your papa, love yourself. Be kind, and always find a way to help. All right? We'll check you here next time. Bye, everybody.